The history books are filled with the noise of cannons, the clash of steel, and the burning of cities. We are taught that war is a physical act, a collision of bodies and machines. But this is a lie. The bloodiest wars in human history were not fought on a battlefield. They were not fought for land or for gold. They were fought in the silent, terrifying darkness of the human mind. True warfare is psychological. It is the art of breaking a man without ever laying a finger on him. It is the ability to dismantle an enemy's sanity, strip away their confidence, and leave them defenseless, battling ghosts that you have planted in their head. Sun Tzu said, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." But how do you achieve this? How do you destroy an opponent who is physically stronger, wealthier, or more powerful than you? You do not attack their armor. You attack their perception of reality. You attack their connections to the world. You attack their very sense of self. In the next few minutes, we are going to open the playbook of generals, dictators, and grandmasters. We are going to dissect the mechanics of psychological warfare. By the end of this video, you will understand how the mind is breached, how control is seized, and how to erect a fortress around your own psyche that no enemy can penetrate. This is not about cruelty. This is about survival. Welcome to the deep end of strategy. The first weapon in the psychological arsenal is the corruption of reality. In modern terms, this is often called gaslighting, but in the context of warfare, it is something far more systematic. It is the creation of a mirage. In chess, you lose when you misunderstand the board. If you believe a square is safe when it is actually under fire, you will make a fatal mistake. Your enemy's goal is to alter your map of the territory. To destroy an enemy psychologically, you must first make them doubt their own senses. You subtly alter the facts. You deny events that occurred. You insist on narratives that contradict their memory. When done effectively, this induces a state of cognitive dissonance. The human brain craves patterns and consistency. When you deny an enemy their reality with absolute conviction, their brain begins to short-circuit. They start to question their own judgment. Did I really say that? Am I overreacting? A general does not scream. A general states falsehoods with the calm authority of truth. By remaining stoic while your opponent becomes emotional, you shift the dynamic. You become the anchor of sanity, even while you are the one rocking the boat. Once your enemy looks to you to validate what is real and what is not, the war is over. You own their perception. You have rewritten the rules of the game, and they are playing on a board that only you can see. No fortress can stand if its supply lines are cut. In the physical world, an army needs food and ammunition. In the psychological world, a human being needs validation, support, and allies. To destroy an opponent, you must enforce isolation. This is siege warfare applied to the soul. A person surrounded by loyal allies is confident. They have a sounding board. They have people to verify their reality. Your objective is to sever these ties, one by one. You drive wedges between your enemy and their support network. You whisper doubts to their allies. You paint your enemy as unstable to their friends, and you paint the friends as treacherous to your enemy. Divide and conquer is the oldest maxim in the book for a reason. You create an environment where the enemy feels that they are standing alone in a cold room. When a human being feels isolated, their primal fear centers activate. We are social animals. Isolation feels like death to the subconscious mind. As their connections wither, their reliance on you, or their fear of you, increases. They become paranoid. Every shadow looks like a traitor. They stop trusting the people who could save them. In chess, a king isolated in the corner of the board, cut off from his pawns and knights, is a king waiting to be mated. Do not attack the king directly. Remove the pieces that protect him, and he will fall by his own weight. Human beings find comfort in patterns. We fear the dark because we cannot see what is inside it. We fear the unknown. Therefore, to strike terror into an opponent, you must become the unknown. You must embrace calculated unpredictability. If you are predictable, you are controllable. If your enemy knows that you always respond to an insult with anger, they will insult you to draw you out. If they know you always retreat when pressed, they will press you. You become a machine with buttons they can push. You must break the buttons. Sometimes, when they expect aggression, you offer silence. When they expect a retreat, you attack with overwhelming force. When they expect logic, you give them irrationality. This is known in geopolitical strategy as the Madman theory. If your enemy believes you are capable of anything, that you are volatile, irrational, and unconcerned with consequences, they will walk on eggshells around you. Consider the grandmaster who makes a move that seems to defy all logic. The opponent freezes. They spend hours analyzing that move, convinced it is a trap, terrified of a strategy they cannot see. In reality, the move was simply chaos designed to freeze them. By removing the pattern, you remove their ability to plan. An enemy who cannot predict your next move is an enemy who is perpetually on the defensive, waiting for a blow that may never come, exhausted by their own anticipation. The most devastating attacks do not come from the front lines. They come from within the walls. The Trojan horse is the ultimate symbol of psychological subversion. In the realm of power dynamics, this translates to the weaponization of friendship and false intimacy. To truly dismantle an enemy, you must first get close enough to find their weak points. You cannot stab a man in the back if you are standing across the room. You must adopt the guise of the benign observer or even the ally. You lower your shield to encourage them to lower theirs. You listen. You gather intelligence. You find out what they fear, what they desire, and what keeps them awake at night. This requires a cold detachment. You must be able to smile while analyzing the jugular. You offer them small victories. You feed their ego. You let them believe they are the smarter one, the dominant one. This is the feigned retreat used by the Mongols. They would pretend to run away, drawing the enemy army out of their formation, only to turn and slaughter them when they were disorganized and overconfident. By the time you strike, it should be too late for them to react. The betrayal of an ally causes more psychological damage than the attack of a known enemy. It shatters their trust in their own judgment. It proves to them that they are not safe anywhere, not even with those they invited in. In an age of constant noise, silence is the loudest sound on earth. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They feel the need to fill it, to explain themselves, to justify their actions. The amateur strategist talks too much. The master utilizes the void. When your enemy attacks or provokes you, your instinct is to defend, to argue, to counterattack immediately. Suppress that instinct. Do nothing. Say nothing. Look at them with a blank, unreadable expression. This is the psychological equivalent of staring into an abyss. When you do not react, you give the enemy nothing to work with. You become a mirror. Without your reaction to feed off, their aggression bounces back onto them. They begin to project their own insecurities into your silence. They wonder, why isn't he arguing? Does he know something I don't? Is he planning something worse? In their panic to fill the silence, they will reveal more than they intended. They will make mistakes. They will overextend. By withholding your reaction, you maintain your power. You force them to chase you. You remain the unmoved mover, the statue that watches the storm without blinking. Silence signals that you are not threatened, and if you are not threatened, you must be superior. Sometimes the goal is not just to confuse, but to obliterate the enemy's capacity to operate. This brings us to the most brutal tactic: scorched earth. In a military context, this means burning the land so the enemy cannot feed their troops. In psychological warfare, it means poisoning the reputation and the environment of the opponent. A person's power comes from their standing in the hierarchy. If you subtly stain their reputation, you strip them of their armor. This is not about shouting insults. It is about planting seeds of doubt in the minds of the collective. It is the tactical leak of information. It is the raised eyebrow when their name is mentioned. You frame their virtues as vices. If they are frugal, you paint them as cheap. If they are bold, you paint them as reckless. If they are quiet, you paint them as scheming. You alter the lens through which the world views them. When the world looks at your enemy with suspicion, your enemy feels the weight of 1,000 eyes. They become self-conscious. They lose their charisma. They spend all their energy trying to repair their image rather than fighting you. You have forced them into a defensive posture on their own territory. You have poisoned the well, and now they are dying of thirst. These tactics, gaslighting, isolation, unpredictability, infiltration, silence, and reputation destruction, are the dark matter of human interaction. They are dangerous, they are destructive, and they are used every single day in boardrooms, in politics, and in personal relationships. Understanding these mechanics is not an instruction to become a monster. It is a requirement for defense. If you do not recognize the Trojan horse, your walls will fall. If you cannot identify the gaslight, you will lose your mind. The goal of the elite strategist is not cruelty. It is control. It is the preservation of your own sovereignty. The ultimate victory is not destroying the enemy's body, but rendering their mind incapable of opposing you.